Okay, everything's set up. So thanks everybody for being on time. We're like 4 minutes late, but all that matters is that you guys are on with me, and I appreciate those of you that rock with me every week. We set this call up to pretty much give you power in 2018. So our goal is, this year everybody should have your goals. If you don't have your goals written down, make sure that you write your goals down. If you're on my team, you're supposed to print your goals off, and you're supposed to post them all over your house, in your car, everywhere, so that you can see them all the time. So I want to make sure that everybody has their goals for 2018 written down. If you do not have your goals, you are behind. And this month is about to be over in a minute. So write down your goals on your goal sheet. You should have the life blueprint for 2018. If you do not have it, you need to contact me so that I can get it to you. It's a free blueprint. It's the blueprint that my team is living by this year, and we're already getting results. We're already getting results financially. We're already getting results with our credit scores. We're already getting results with everything that we're doing because we changed our blueprint. So if you keep the same blueprint that you had in 2017, expect that 2018 is going to end the same way that 2017 ended. So I want to make sure that everybody is on board with this goal, with your goals, and you have your goals written down, and you look at them or write them down every single day. I want to make sure that everybody understands that you cannot keep doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. So that's why we have this call in place, and I have some seminars that I'm putting in place for a lot of the people on my team. I'm happy that Omar he's all the way he lives in Kentucky. He has one of the largest tax services in Kentucky, quality tax service. So I'm gonna introduce him in just a few minutes. I'm gonna bring him on after I talk to you guys about personal lending and business funding. Okay, so I want you to get in position for personal lending and business funding for 2018. On top of what Omar is going to talk to you about is your taxes. So personal taxes and business taxes, and he's going to talk to you how you can have the maximum returns on your taxes. So I want everybody to make sure that you file your taxes. I know we deal with hundreds of files every week, and so many people have tax liens. Yes, we can get tax liens off, but that does not negate the fact that you still owe the IRS. And the IRS will garnish your wages. The IRS will put liens on your property. The IRS will empty your bank account. So I want to make sure that you stay on top of your taxes, especially if you're going into business or you're in business. Have so many. We work with NBA players, NFL players, credit, and so many of them were not educated in the fact of learning to do their taxes because they trusted their accountants, and now they're in tax trouble. So I want to make sure that as you progress and as you move forward, that you stay on top of your taxes and that you leverage your taxes, because if more money is going, Omar go into that. I'm not a tax person. I'm a credit person. But I want to make sure that everybody on my team, even if you were invited to this call, I want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need for 2018. So every week I'm going to have guests. Every week we're going to talk about new subjects. Every week we're going to challenge you to be better. So make sure that you put this on your schedule for every week. Hopefully you can give us an hour of your time just so you can hear and listen and study and make notes and ask questions. So many of you follow me on Facebook. If you have questions, I'm going to, when Omar starts talking, I'm going to open up my Facebook, and I'm going to answer any questions that you have. So if you have questions, send them to me through Facebook. My name is DeMont Nixon. Or if you're on credit, if you're on our Millionaires Credit Club Facebook, also send questions through there as well, and I'll try to answer as many questions as you have today. I want to talk to you about positioning yourself for personal and business lines of credit. So many of you that are in my credit club, or even if you're visiting, you might have good credit, you might have bad credit. Either way, you still can put together a plan, okay? Whether it's a short-term plan or a long-term plan, it doesn't matter. If you're at 300, if you're at 400, if you're at 500, if you're at 600 score, if you're at 700 score, if you're at 800 score, I still want you to put together a plan, because what that's going to do is that's going to show you what you need to do in order to fund your idea, to fund your business, or to elevate your life. So elevating your life means even if you don't have a business idea, even if you don't have the resources, you have a plan and you know how to get the resources. So even if my score is 300, even if my score is 400, if I have a plan, then I know that these are the things that I need to do to get to a 720 and to use the bank's money to make money. That's our principle with the Millionaires Credit Club, is to position ourselves to use the bank's money to make money. So in order to do that, you have to get a plan, and you have to know where you are. So you should know your credit score. I'm hoping that all of you know your credit score. If you don't, go to creditkarma.com. It's free. You need to pull your credit score. You always need to monitor your credit. So if somebody, and the reason saying that is that identity theft is big. So even if you have bad credit, people can still get stuff in your name and still continue to steal your identity. So we want to make sure that we know our credit score, we know what's on our credit, and regardless of what's on our credit, we know that it can be fixed. So if you follow me, you should know that. It's promising. I don't care what you have. If you have bankruptcies, if you have tax liens, if you have repossessions, if you have foreclosures, it is possible to fix it. There are laws, there are statutes of limitations, there are all types of things in place to protect you from creditors and from collectors. Okay, so if I get into a car accident, if I get a speeding ticket, I'm gonna go find me an attorney that knows the law so that I don't have to pay that speeding ticket because I made a mistake, but I learned from it and I don't want it to increase my insurance premium. Okay, so that's the benefit of finding someone that's knowledgeable in credit. So positioning yourself with personal and business lines of credit. So you need to have a 720 score. If you do not have a 720, and you need to have a strong 720 score. And we talked about trade lines last week. I'm going to go through trade lines just a little bit today because we have a lot more people than we had last week. So you need to be at a 720 score for personal funding. 720 score with at least 3 years history. So history means that you need to be at least have 3 years history. So that means that your credit cards or your open accounts need to go back 3 years. Okay, so that's your credit cards, that's your car payment, that's your mortgage if you don't have any late payments. Okay, so at least 3 years history. If you don't have 3 years history, just say everything is new, or you had your credit fixed and you're starting all over, or you filed bankruptcy and you're starting all over, then you don't have 3 years credit history. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to buy trade lines, or you're going to have to ask mama or grandma or auntie or your sister or your brother or your friend or somebody that has good credit history. You're going to have to ask them, can they add you on to their credit card, and they're going to you're pretty much going to piggyback off of their credit. So when you piggyback off of their credit, then you're going to have their history for their credit card. Okay, so if you don't understand piggybacking or trade lines, Google it or inbox me, and I'll send you more information about it. So once you get to a 720 score, it's possible for you to get there in a short period of time if you really work on doing it. I don't care how bad your score is. I've seen people get there in as short as 3 to 4 months. So once you get all the negative things off of your credit, because you can't, when you get a personal or a business line of credit, you are dressing yourself up so that you look as good as possible when you're presented to underwriting. Underwriting in a bank, if you don't know, is when the bank looks at your credit report and they determine if they're going to lend you the money. Okay, so you could have a 720 score and you still not be in position. So I want to make sure that all the negative things are off of your credit and that you don't have any tax liens, anything, any late marks, any recent late payments, and you have a 720 score with at least 3 years history. In the event that you have a 720 with 3 years history, most of our members are getting anywhere between $75,000 to $200,000. So that's a line of credit. A line of credit is the bank's money. So just like you apply for a Capital One Platinum card and they give you a $500 limit, or you apply for a Chase Freedom card and they give you a $3,000 limit, it's the same way. So personal funding is multiple banks that are giving you money through lines of credit. So, for instance, the person I told you got a $70,000 line of credit with a 720 score. They did not look at their after you get past a certain score, they don't look at your income docs, okay? So that's why it's important that you be above a 720. So once you get past the 720, they don't look at your pay stubs and your tax returns, okay? So even when you go buy a car, if you're in a top tier credit, they don't ask you for your income docs. So it doesn't matter how much you made last year. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. It doesn't matter what you have in your savings account. It does not matter. So you're positioning yourself for a personal line of credit because you have an idea that you want to fund, or you have a business that you want to expand, or you want to build multiple streams of income. And the people on my team know that the goal for 2018 is to have at least 2 additional streams of income. Okay, so if you have one, which is your job, right now we're going to position ourselves to get at least 2 more, so that if we're barely making it because we're living from check to check, then the only way for us to do that is to get our credit together, to position ourselves to go to the bank and get the line of credit that I just told you about, and to invest in another stream of income so that by the time the end of the year comes, we have at least 3 streams of income. Okay? So personal line of credit, 720. Business line of credit. The difference between the personal line of credit and the business line of credit is that a personal line of credit, all of the credit shows up on your business account. A business line of credit, all the credit shows up on your business account, on your business credit, okay? If you don't have business credit, we help you set up business credit, or if you have an LLC, it goes under your LLC. So I suggest business lines of credit, okay? So business lines of credit, if you have $100,000 or $200,000 line of credit, is going to show up on your on your business line, on your business entity. Just say you don't have a business entity, because the older your LLC, the more money you're going to get. For instance, one of my members has an LLC that they purchased through a broker from 2012. Okay, so it was an LLC because you can buy LLCs. They're called seasoned LLCs. So say, for instance, you have an LLC and it's just sitting idle. You can sell it to someone else. You make them you add their name as a member. You remove your name, and now they have your history. So it's just like piggybacking, like I just told you, like trade lines. So when you buy a seasoned LLC, you'll get more money. If you go start an LLC now, or you use an existing LLC that you haven't had that long, you're only going to get around $20,000 to $30,000. if you use an LLC that's over 3 years old, you'll get more money, okay? Because they look at the business, they look at how long the business has been in place, and then they look at your personal credit. You're called the personal guarantor, the PG. So that's why it's important that your personal credit be strong and that your business doesn't have to have credit, but it has to have history for you to get the maximum amount of money, okay? So our goal here is to position you so that you can get the maximum amount of money. It does not matter if you filed bankruptcy and all of those things, because if you clean your credit up, as you know, if you follow me, anything that's negative on your credit can be removed. So student loans can be removed. Tax liens can be removed. Bankruptcies can be removed. Charge-offs can be removed. Repos can be removed. Foreclosures can be removed. Late pays can either be reversed or they'll be removed. So many of you have success stories in my credit club. Many of you will have success stories real soon because our membership has went up tremendously. But even if you're not in my credit club, I still want you to have the information that you need so that you do not, as Les Brown says, you do not die full of dreams. I don't want you to die full of dreams because you feel like that you can't get the resources that you need in order to get to the next level. You can. And just like anyone else, there's millionaires out there that are not as smart as you are. But you know what? They have the resources, and you know how they got them? They position themselves. So I want you to, if you don't get anything off this call or off this Facebook Live, I want you to know that you can position yourself. And after you position yourself to get the business line of credit or to get the personal line of credit, then now you're using the bank's money to make money. Okay? All this, people are going back and forth with me on social media about it's better to use your own money. I've met multiple millionaires, and I have a few billionaires that are my mentors that call me quite frequently and check on me and give me advice and invite me over to their houses. And talking to them, they have never told me that it's better to use your own money than use the bank's money. So I don't know how, people with no money can give you advice, but my advice to you is that you position yourself to get everything that 2018 has for you. And you have so many ideas and businesses inside of you, and even if you want to continue to work your 9-to-5 job till you retire, you still need to position yourself to have more streams of income so that you're not living from check to check, because it's obvious you cannot get wealthy or rich or leave an inheritance for your children's children working a 9-to-5 job. Okay, and many people work a 9-to-5 job. They put in 50 and 60 years into a job. They retire, and then now they're making less money, so they have to scale back. I want you to put in your mind that you are scaling forward. So in order to scale forward, we have to have a new blueprint. So business line of credit, personal line of credit. Many people I deal with in L.A., many people I deal with in the entertainment industry are waiting for investors. I meet with people every single day, and they tell me I'm waiting for an investor. I don't want you there's nothing wrong with investors. There's nothing wrong with investors. Don't get me wrong. And one day I want you to become an investor. But in the event that you don't meet an investor, you need to position yourself so that you can go to the bank. The banks, that's what they're in place for, to give you money. But the only way to get the money is you have to qualify. So there are guidelines for you to qualify. And if you don't qualify, you won't be able to get the money. Many of you have businesses right now, and they are considered ma and pa businesses. You know why? Because you don't capitalize off of all your opportunities, so you're not making as much money as your competitors. You know why you're not making as much money as your competitors? Because you cannot buy the equipment, you cannot do the marketing, you cannot do the traveling, you cannot do the networking, you cannot go to all the events because your competitor has more money than you. You know why they have more money than you? Because they're using the bank's money to leverage, to make money until they have more money coming in. or they have an investor, one or the other. So I want you to position your mind to know that your business idea, whatever you believe that can happen, it can happen. Just get your credit together. That's a start. That's a start. And don't think that I get people all the time, they're embarrassed about their situation. Don't get embarrassed about your situation. I got Omar coming on. Give me 2 minutes. Don't get embarrassed about your situation because everybody had to go through something. So if you read about millionaires and billionaires and even the President of the United States, whether we like him or not, everybody had to go through something, whether it was bankruptcy, whether it was foreclosure, whether it was whatever it was. They didn't just start off on top. Many people are not just born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They continue to persist. They continue to knock on doors, and they continue to access whatever's available to them. If nobody believes in your idea, you have to access what's available to you, and at this point, the bank's money is available to you. All you need is a strong 720 score. If you don't know if you have a strong 720 score, I can look at your credit in 5 minutes. I will tell you if you have a strong 700 score and what you can qualify for. Our company does not do lending and financing, but we do work with brokers that do it. This is my last point. When there are companies that promise money. So, like, I can send any of our members' credit report to a broker. What a broker does is, it's just like a mortgage broker. What a broker does is finds you the money. Okay, so they go to Bank of America. They know underwriters at Bank of America. They go to Wells Fargo. They go to Navy Federal. And then they come back and they say, hey, John Doe, I can get you, based upon your credit and your history, I can get you $125,000. That's before you even apply. So that's called a soft approval. So a soft approval means they can look at your credit score and determine how much you qualify for it. Then they do the applications for you. They deal with the underwriting. They deal with all the paperwork. And you just get the funding in the mail. So everything comes to your house, so it's secure, but you get it in the mail. So when you get the $100,000 or the $200,000 or whatever the amount of money is that you qualify for, then you pay the broker. Okay? So I don't want any of you to ever pay anybody on the front end. If someone says that they can get you a certain amount of money, or they look at your credit and they say that you qualify for a certain amount of funding, I don't care if it's business or personal, if you don't get anything else from this call, do not pay anybody on the front end. The front end means do not pay anybody before they get you the funding. Okay? And relationships are powerful. We know that. Our parents taught us it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay? So a lot of these companies are credible. I know the ones that we deal with are, and they come through. But you always pay them on the back end, which means after they get you the funding, after you have the funding in your hand or in your bank, or you have the credit cards at your house, then you pay the person that got it for you, okay? Do not get scammed. I've gotten scammed. Several of my friends have gotten scammed by paying on the front end. I want you to never, never, never pay anybody on the front end. Secondly, when you get trade lines, if you're not dealing with somebody that you trust and you know and has a reputable business, only pay them through a credit card. Okay? So many of you go online and you go on Craigslist or whatever these websites you go on, and you find trade lines or you find people that say that they can get you this and to get you that. Never wire someone cash. Pay them through a credit card or PayPal. Okay? So when you pay them through a credit card or PayPal, when they disappear or when you can't find them or it doesn't appear on your credit, you can reverse the charges. So don't get scammed in this game trying to find money for your dream, because you'll go backwards. I want you to go forward. I want you to lead forward. All right, so enough about that. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and inbox me. and I'm going to answer as many as I can when Omar gets done. I want to, again, thank Omar for taking his time out to talk to you guys about taxes. Taxes are very, very, very important, okay? Even if you have tax liens and we get them removed, let me go through this. Let me not go through tax liens. When you buy a house, my mandate for many of my members this year is to own and not rent. When you buy a house, you need to have at least 2 years tax return. And that you can't make them up. You can't find somebody to make them up because nowadays they check with the IRS. So make sure that as you position yourself and get your credit in order, that your taxes are in order, okay? And having your taxes in order means that you get with someone like Omar and you connect with them and you figure out how to do the past at least the 2 years tax returns that you need in order to qualify for your home loan, okay? And then you also connect with someone like Omar so that you can get the maximum return because many of you are doing your taxes yourself and you're getting messed up in the long run, okay? So, Omar, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you, man. I appreciate you for taking the time to call in and talk to my team and the guests that are on the phone. It's a lot of people on Facebook Live. There's a lot of people that are on that called in through the conference call. And I just want to say thank you, man, because you didn't have to. I know you're very busy. This is tax season, but I want to say thank you.
No problem, man. I just wanted to make sure. Can everybody hear me? Demar, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I just wanted to say that I'm honored to be placed on this platform to talk to you guys about the personal tax.
I unmuted everybody because you wanted to see if they could hear you. So let me.
I see everybody saying they hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you, Omar.
Yeah, we hear you.
I love my
Yes, we hear you.
I just wanted to say how honored. I wanted to say how honored I am to be placed on this platform to talk to you guys about the personal taxes and the business taxes. So, to the month, thank you for the invite, man. I don't take it lightly. Guys, my name is Omar Rasoul, and since 2004, I've been an entrepreneur. So I've had the luxury of dictating my own day, dictating my own schedule, and being my own boss. From owning 4 nightclubs and 3 restaurants, I have seen a lot and I've learned a lot. But unfortunately, no one had the manual for me. So a lot of mistakes I've made. I'm one of those type of individuals that once I make that one mistake, I don't make the same mistake over and over again. So for the past 4 years, I've owned a tax company by the name of Quality Tax Services, also known as QTS. And we've gone from 0 clients to 1,500 clients, and that number is steady climbing every day. And as most of you guys know, it's tax season right now, so I know that you're probably been bombarded with text messages and social media posts, flyers, and receiving mail from different people, and it's probably hard to decide who to go to. I got a lot of clients of my own who say, well, you know, my mama has been doing my taxes for years, or I got a cousin or a friend of mine, and that's all well and good. The thing that I would say is whoever it is that you decide to do your taxes with, you should always ask yourself, does this person have the necessary information in order to help me? A lot of people are afraid to ask themselves that question because it is your mama or it is your cousin or it is your friend. But you should be selfish when it comes to your personal financial information. One of the saddest things that I've experienced is when people make plans for that big check at the end of the year during tax season, and somehow mysteriously the check is taken. Well, I'm here to tell you guys it's not a mystery. You know, whether you know it or not, there's a debt out there, and the IRS is not playing with anybody. They're not to be played with. And I have a lot of people who, you know, they're expecting this check, and then when they come to the office and that check is not there, they're asking all these questions. We all know when we have debts, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. So we have to be honest with ourselves in that aspect. And one thing that I like about DeMont is he's constantly pushing the idea of creating a plan or writing down your goals. And I wish that somebody would have explained the importance of writing down your goals to me in my early 20s because I had no idea. one goal that we should all be setting for ourselves in 2018 is surrounding ourselves with a financial team. And that means that, you should have someone who has the means or the expertise to answer your questions, not only in credit repair or personal and business lines of credit, as the month was going over today, but you also should have somebody who can assist you in tax protection. A lot of people were upset with Donald Trump when he made the statement that he hasn't paid income taxes in years. I mean, it was crazy. The news stations was going crazy. Social media was trending. I mean, it was just crazy. But nobody asked themselves, how is this possible? Now, by no means am I stating that I agree with all the crazy antics that our president projects, but regardless on how I feel or on how you feel about him, we still need to be aware of our surroundings. And one of the things about Trump is he has a financial team that's the size of an army, and their only purpose is to make sure that he's protected with the right amount of deductions to offset his income. And a lot of people, like I said, when he first made that statement, everybody was up in arms, like, how dare he not pay income taxes? But the man is smart when it comes to business, and he hires an entire team in order to do that protection for him. So when me and my business partners decided to create QTS, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did was educate our clients. Because when you go to some of the bigger names like an H&R Block or a Jackson Hewitt, you're basically just going in there, you're giving them your W-2, they input the information, and you're leaving. But they're not equipping you with the information in order to take you to the next level. Again, what the money has always been pushing, make sure that you have a plan. Write down your goals. And one of those goals should be making sure that you understand the ins and outs of your tax situation, because we're not all the same. So for the past 4 years, like I said, we've grown from 0 to 1,500 clients, and that's ranking us number 1 in Lexington, Kentucky. And the H&R Blocks and the Jackson Hewitts and the Liberty Taxes, they've all come to us to try to buy us out. And the number one question that they ask us is, how is it that you were able to grow so fast? And it's because we show our clients that not only do we care, but we educate them on the things that they need to do in order to have a better tax return the next year, or to put them in a better tax situation for the next year. I'm not going to hold you guys up too long, but I do want to leave you guys with a couple of tips that are very simple. The first tip is, if you guys are employed by somebody, you need to make a decision on if you want to collect your money throughout the year or at the end of the year. And whatever decision that you make sure that it's reflected on your W-4. Now, for my clients who want to make sure that they have that big refund check at the end of the year, I tell them, make sure that you go to your human resource department and claim 0. Because by claiming 0, that will solidify the fact that you will get that money at the end of the year. Some people have all these different claims on there, and they're not realizing at the end of the season when they get that small check that they've been getting their tax return little bit by little bit throughout the whole year. So make sure that you ask yourself, do I want to get my money throughout the year, or do I want to get a big refund check at the end of the year? And like I said, make sure that that's reflected on your W-4 with your human resource department. Now, if you don't work for anybody and you're an entrepreneur, you need to make sure that you do one important thing, and that is do a good job at keeping up with your receipts. Now, I, above everybody else, understands how hard it is to keep up with your receipts, but with technology, it is so easy to do this now. You have different apps that will keep up with your mileage. You have different apps that you can just take a picture of the receipt and it'll store it in a drive for you. And then at the end of the year, when you go prepare your taxes, all you have to do is just pull up everything on a computer, and that is what you present to your tax preparer. So that's the number one tip that I want everybody to understand. Whether you work for somebody or not, make sure that you make the decision on if you want to get your money throughout the year, or if you want to have a big check at the end of the year. And if you are an entrepreneur, please make sure that you have your receipts. The second tip that I want to give you guys is know your debts. Like I said, it's not a mystery that check didn't mysteriously disappear, but it's the fact that we either don't know that we have this tax debt, or we're not being honest with ourselves. So what I've done to educate my clients is I give them the 1-800 tax debt telephone number, and I want to share that number with you guys if you have a pen. The telephone number is 1-800-304-3107. Again, that number is 1-800-304-3107. Now, with this telephone number right here, the instructions that you need to know is you hit the number 1 twice, and after you hit the number 1 twice, you input your Social Security number. It's going to ask you to input your Social Security number twice. After you do that, it will let you know if you have any debts that could affect your income taxes. And it's very important that you guys know that information before you go and get your taxes prepared. Now, I know a lot of people, once they find out that they have a debt, they become ashamed. And I'm telling you right now, don't be ashamed if you have a debt or something that could affect your income taxes, especially child support. I have a lot of guys, when we first started QTS, they were ashamed that they had the child support. And I understand how easy it is to get behind on your child support, but like the one always says, come up with the plan. The plan that I came up with the guys that I've been mentoring during the tax season is let's find out what that number is with your child support. Once we find out what that number is, now let's try to maximize your income tax every year so it'll knock that number off, because they're automatically going to take that check once we electronically send it up to the IRS. And I'm happy to announce that this year I have 20 guys who are going to be receiving their first income tax check because 3 years ago we came up with a plan for them. So, like I said, call the 1-800 number, find out what your debts are, don't be ashamed of those debts, and just come up with a plan for it. The third tip that I want to give you guys is make sure you have all of your necessary items when you're going to get your taxes prepared. For our clients, we have to make sure that they have an updated ID. A lot of people think they can just come in with an ID. It has to be updated. Going back to that second tip that I gave you about your debts, a lot of people don't know that your state revenue department, they have a new system now that if you owe a debt, they can revoke your driver's license until you pay that debt or come up with a payment plan for that debt. I have a lot of people who no longer have driver's license for that simple reason. And people don't realize without a driver's license or an updated ID, you cannot prepare your taxes because I can't verify that is you unless I know you personally. So make sure that you have an updated ID. Make sure you have a copy of your Social Security card. Make sure that you have your health insurance card. A lot of people don't realize that if you don't have health insurance, you get penalized on that every year. Also, if you have dependents, which means kids that you're going to be claiming on your taxes, make sure that you have a copy of their birth certificate. Make sure that you have a copy of their Social Security card. Make sure that you also have a copy of their health insurance card because you'll get penalized if they don't have the health insurance information either. A lot of clients. Now, I'm not sure if we have any individuals on this line right now who have experienced divorce and kids are involved. I would recommend that in your divorce decree, make sure that you have it listed that, okay, I get to claim the kids on the even years, she gets to claim the kids on the odd years. That makes the situation and the process a lot simpler when it's in writing. The other thing is if a lot of people have to understand that when it comes to dependents, I understand that, you've been taking care of your girlfriend's kids for all these years, but if you're not listed on that birth certificate, you got to understand that the power is taken out of my hands and out of most tax preparers' hands. So you have to make sure that you know the situation, line yourself up correctly with the right amount of paperwork so that when you do go prepare your taxes, there's no surprises. The fourth tip that I would like to give you guys is beware of the changes in the tax law. For instance, if you have a dependent or if you have a child that turned 17 during 2017, you no longer get a credit for that child. you can no longer claim that child and get that credit, that earned income credit for that child. And that's heartbreaking because I have a lot of clients whose child is 17 years old and they're a junior in high school. So that means for their junior year and their senior year, that parent is no longer getting that credit. But you will be able to get that credit if their child decides to go to college. That's the crazy part about it. So you would, if your child turned 17 in 2017, you would not be able to get credit for this tax season or the next tax season, but when they go to college, you'll be able to get that college credit. So please be aware of knowing what the changes are in the tax law and how they could affect you. And it's very easy. All you have to do is just go to the IRS.gov website, or if you have the type of relationship that I have with a lot of my clients, you can just call me up and ask me, hey, is there any changes that will possibly affect my situation? And I won't have a problem sitting down with you and explaining to you. But we've already been experiencing a lot of people who are being affected by this new change with the 17-year-old dependents. Lastly, the last tip that I'd like to give you guys is consider starting a home-based business. I know a lot of you guys probably have noticed that there's been a boom in people owning travel agencies or selling tea or coffee that makes you lose weight, or what's the smelling candle, Scentsy. A lot of people have been getting involved in Scentsy. Well, all of those things are considered home-based businesses, and a client who is involved in a home-based business is then able to take advantage of a lot of the deductions that a regular person who simply works a 9-to-5 can't take advantage of. Some of those deductions, as Demont explained earlier, some of those deductions could include the rent or the mortgage that you're paying, the electric bill, any of your utilities, gas and water, mileage on your car, dry cleaning, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, taking a trip, going out to eat or going to a concert. Any of those things could be considered a deduction when you have a home-based business, depending on how you position yourself. And a lot of people don't really understand the importance or the benefit that you can have once you are a home-based business owner. So I would strongly recommend you guys look into possibly becoming a home-based business owner. And it's something that, you can still have a full-time job and have this on the side, but you will definitely see the benefits of it when you go and prepare your taxes. I'm not going to hold you guys up much longer, but I just want to reiterate the importance of forming a financial team around you that can assist you in achieving your individual goals, whether that's, credit repair or tax protection. So if I can be of any assistance to any of you guys, please look me up on Facebook under Omar Rasoul. My name is Omar. Last name is Rasoul. I sent Demont a copy of my digital business card, so if he's able to, he'll post that up underneath the comments of the live video. Or you guys can simply email me at omar@qtsprofessional.com. Again, my name is Omar. Last name is Rasoul on Facebook, or you can look me up on our business Facebook, which is QTS Lexington. Demont, again, thank you so much, man, for giving me the opportunity to talk to your team. I hope that I was able to provide some information that you guys can use this tax season.
Thanks, Omar. I have a few people to ask a few questions, so I do want. Hold on 1 second. I get calls and it freezes everything up. So.
Okay.
1 second. I'm going to have to figure out how to turn my cell phone off when I do this. I don't know how to do it. Anybody on the call, if you have any questions for Omar, go ahead and text me right now on the call. Or if you have any questions for me, let's go ahead and knock out some questions. My number is 213-713-4154. Just go ahead and text me, and I'll answer whatever questions you have. And if you have any for Omar regarding Texas, he covered a lot of information I didn't even know. So I also a couple of people want to know about the home-based business. So does that mean it could be a self-entity? Does it have to be an LLC? What type of business does it have to be formed as for them to be able to get write-offs?
It really does not matter if it's an LLC or if it's an S corp. I tell people all the time, make sure that you find out the different ways that you can form your business entity that's going to best protect you. I personally prefer being underneath an LLC because if anything was to happen, they can't come after your personal assets. They can only go after the assets of the business. So, a lot of people prefer going underneath an S corp or a C corp, but I personally I prefer going underneath the LLC, limited liability company.
Okay, and they want you to repeat that number that you said earlier, the number for
to check their debts.
Right. Correct.
Okay. It is 1-800-304-3107. Again, that number is 1-800-304-3107. Once you get onto the line, you have to hit the number 1 2 times. As soon as the operator starts talking, just hit the number 1 2 times. Then she's going to ask you to put in your Social Security number. You have to enter that 2 times. And after you enter it the second time, just wait and listen to find out if you have any debts. If you don't have any, she'll simply tell you that you don't have any at this time. If you do have some, she will not only give you the name of the place that you owe, but she will also give you their contact information so that you can contact them and find out the details of that debt.
Okay. Andrea Brown wants to know what's your location, and I think you just need to let people know that you can help them no matter where they are, because I have people from all over the United States on this.
Yeah. I'm glad that Andrea did ask that question. I'm located in Lexington, Kentucky, but I have clients all over the United States. So again, you can either hit me up on my email, which is omar@qtsprofessional.com, and I can help you out that way. Like I said, with technology, it's very easy for you to take a picture of your documents, send it to me, and I can do everything for you remotely and contact you once I get the results for you. But to answer your question, I am located in Lexington, Kentucky, but I can assist you in no matter what state. I'm certified to do taxes in every state.
Okay, I have one of my credit club members. He said he has an established LLC from 2007. He's never filed taxes on it though. He said he's never made any money on it either, and he hasn't filed his personal taxes in a few years. What is his first move? What should he do?
Okay, your first move is we're going to call that 1-800 number because I'm pretty sure that you may have some debts that's going to pop up. And the second thing that I would say is I would ask you, did you close that business out correctly, meaning that whatever state that you're in, did you go through the Department of Revenue to make sure that they closed it?
No. It's still. I believe. I assume that it's established, so it's still active.
Okay, if it's still active, yeah.
I don't understand how it's still active if you haven't filed taxes on it.
Yeah, if he hasn't filed his taxes, it's not active. It's probably in default. So,
right.
I will call that 1-800 number, and I will call the Department of Revenue to make sure that the status of the business is still in good standing. Because with every business, depending on what the service is, you have to pay either quarterly taxes or you have to pay sales tax every month and everything like that. And if you have not paid any taxes in years, then you may be in default. So
He said
go ahead.
he said it hasn't made any money. So I think with just to be able to have his entity stay open, if he proves that the entity hasn't made money, it still can be an active LLC, but it just hasn't produced any money. So as long as it's active, his LLC is fine as long as he hasn't made any money, if I'm correct, Omar. And then if on his personal taxes, he needs to file for at least how if you haven't filed taxes in a long time, how long should you go back to file? I mean, should you go back?
You should go back at least 4 years.
4 years. How many years should you go back?
Yeah, 4 years. Because anything prior to that is nothing. A lot of software may not even go back that far. So I would say at least do the 4 years, but that's a simple conversation that you can contact the IRS and they will let you know what they're looking for. To go back to the question that to the statement that you made, Demont, a lot of people do believe that if they haven't made any money, they don't have to file anything. And with the Department of Revenue or with the IRS, you have to file zero. If you didn't make any money, you have to file zero. And if you haven't filed zero and it's been months or it's been years, oftentimes that entity, whether it's the IRS or the Department of Revenue, they will have a penalty attached to it. I know specifically for the Kentucky Department of Revenue, if you filed late but you didn't make any money, there's a $110 penalty that you would have to pay for that month. So I would just have to.
The first step for him is just calling the IRS and seeing what they want him to do, and then getting with somebody like you so that you can file it for him so that he can get in compliance with the IRS. Most definitely,
and to call that 1-800 number that I gave out.
That you gave him, and they'll let him know. And then if the number that you gave him comes back and they say no, he doesn't have anything that's owed, then he should just file for 2017.
No, we still need to contact the IRS, because if he hasn't filed his personal taxes in a couple of years, then if he just goes and files his 2017, the likelihood of that check, if we were able to get him a return, could get taken if he has a debt. So find out if he has it. And also that 1-800 number that I gave everybody, that's for your personal taxes. That's not for your business taxes. So that's why you're putting in your Social Security number and not an EIN number. So you have to take that into consideration. So for him, I would, like I said, call the 1-800 number first, contact the Department of Revenue for whatever that state is that he's in, and then contact the IRS, and then I will be more than willing to assist him in any ways that I can.
LaShawn, she's in my credit club. She said he would definitely have a penalty.
I know. Yeah. I was trying to be nice about it.
Clyde wants me to send the number for debts again. I'll send that to you, Clyde. And somebody has a question. Ask him, can it be a service-based business? Like if it was like a coach like me, so a coach like Demont, like a service-based business like what I do. Could it be that type of business?
Absolutely.
They just need to be registered with the Secretary of State. They need to have
have an EIN number. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And then with a service-based business like yourself, it's very important to keep the mileage, because you do a lot of traveling, and a lot of people don't realize that the mileage, once you can claim that mileage, and that can boost your income tax return. A lot of the places that you go out to eat, no matter what state that you're in, as soon as you clicked on that button to do the live video, you're working. As soon as you pick up a telephone call and you're starting to discuss credit repair or whatever it is that you're discussing at that time, you're working. So all of that can be written off.
Well, all of my members, I'm pretty much telling them that you got to start creating multiple streams of income. And a lot of times, even if It's considered a side hustle if you're not registered as a business and you're not paying taxes.
There you go.
It's a side hustle. So if the person's selling cakes and pies, or if a person's washing cars, like people, there are car washes that are in business. So that is considered a business once you go register it.
Exactly.
But it's a side hustle until you go register it. So even if you're not making any money, I'm still telling them they need to go register their business. And then it might not be profitable this year. It might not be profitable for the next 5 years, but at least you have a business that you're building.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So we're number one to our new blueprint for 2018 is changing our mindset.
There you go. Yes.
Changing our mindset.
And let's turn those hobbies into businesses.
Absolutely. Anyone? I'm about to. Omar has taken up his time. Everybody is saying it was a great call. Jalen, and I believe Jalen lives on the East Coast. He's one of my credit club members too, and he said he'll be giving you a call. He needs some help. So I want to make sure that as we go into this year, even if for those of you that have student loans, let me ask this question because I don't know. Can the Department of Education take your return?
Hell to the yes.
Oh, okay.
Listen to me, y'all. Listen.
As long as you are in an arrangement or you're in.
Yes, there you go. That's what I was about to say. Listen, people, listen. That 1-800 number does pull up your education debt. So if you do have a loan out there that you have not paid, it will pull it up and it will give you the information that you need. Now, a lot of these Department of Education loans and debts that you have, if it's been a while, they've probably already turned you over to a collection agency. So now you have to talk directly to this collection agency. And that 1-800 number that I gave you guys will give you their contact information. But if you're not in communication with them, they will take your income taxes. So please, again, I can't stress that 1-800 number enough. So it will give you that information. And to answer your question, yes, they can take your income taxes. They can garnish your income taxes. Okay. And child support can, right? Oh, most definitely. Child support will definitely take your money, your income tax check. And that's why in my presentation I was telling you guys, don't be ashamed if you do have child support. I had, I think the largest arrearage that I had for a client was $25,000. And like I said, this year, this man is getting a $5,000 income tax check. And this is his first income tax check. So, I mean, this is a grown man crying in my office, like appreciating the fact that I took the time out of all of these years in order to put him in a position now where he is able to put that debt behind him and start receiving money at the end of the tax year. So, yes, child support will definitely be taken out of your income tax checks. Okay, questions? I'm about to let them go. I got a few more questions. 213-713-4154. Text me. I got Gina, which is my godmom. She wants to know how do you spell your first and last name? And I'm gonna go ahead. She's not on Facebook, so I can't post it. So just go ahead. I have some people that are on Facebook, so just go ahead and spell your first and last name and give your number one more time for me, Okay. My name is Omar. That's my first name, Omar, Omar. My last name is Rasoul, which is Rasoul. Again, that's Rasoul. My office number is area code 859-402-2227. Again, that's 859-402-2227. My cell phone number is area code 859-893-1261. Again, that's 859-893-1261. And if I can be of any assistance to anybody, no matter what state you're in, please contact me either through email, through cell phone. I've given y'all every contact information that I have for me, so feel free to contact me. I have a few more. Okay. Go ahead. I got plenty of time. Toya asked a question. She wants to know
about the home-based business, does she have to register? And I think we already answered that. So, Toya, I think you're in Indianapolis, Toya. So what you need to do is you need to go to the Secretary of State.
Yep.
You can go either down to the government building, or you can do it online, and it's $99.
Yes, online is the quickest. Online is the quickest.
Yeah, online is the quickest. It's $99 in Indiana. And then once they approve your name for your business, then you're going to call the IRS and you're going to get an EIN number. Okay, so then you'll be a legitimate home-based business. So you do have to register it, yes. It's only $99.
I'm not 100% sure on Indianapolis, but I know here in Kentucky, the Secretary of State automatically gives you your EIN number as soon as you fill out their information. So you'll have that before you even call the IRS.
Well, that might be new. I don't know, but
yeah.
when I did a business in Indiana, I had to get set up with Secretary of State first, and then I called myself. But it might have changed by now. I don't know.
Yeah, gotcha. But I can definitely help them out.
The first step is Secretary of State, Toya.
Yes, it is.
And you could go to their website and do it online.
Mm-hmm. What other questions you got for me,
Erica says Indiana is the same now as Kentucky, so I think you do everything at one time.
Yep, do everything at one time.
Okay. Joe wants to know, when you call that number that you gave them, do you make payment arrangements then, or do you have to actually go through a tax preparer, or what do you do next? After you call the number and they say, yes, you do owe, what do you do?
Okay, when you call that number and they tell you that you have a debt, they're going to tell you who you have that debt with, and they're going to give you the contact information for that debt collector. So you have to contact that person, whether it's child support, whether it's Department of Education, whether it's the Kentucky Department of Revenue. You have to physically call that office and talk to a representative of that office. That's how you can start the process of your payment arrangements. Now, once you make those payment arrangements, and let's say that you contact me to prepare your taxes, I'm going to still call that 1-800 number again for you. And then once I come up with your estimated tax return, I'll let you know, okay, so it says that you have a debt that could possibly affect this. That's when you let me know, hey, I've already contacted them. Here's my information to show you that I have a payment arrangement with them, or we can just simply call them right here at my office. And once I talk to the representative, I'll be able to find out if you had a payment arrangement already made for them.
Okay, that's good info. Jill wants to know, she's from Indiana. She lives in California. Her question is, if she were to register her business in Indiana, or the question is, can she register her business in Indiana because it's cheaper to register in Indiana than it is California? If she has a home-based business, would she still be able to file taxes, or how would that work? Because I know people do have businesses, entities that they file in other states. So,
yes. What's going to end up happening is, to answer your question, yes and no. And I know that's kind of difficult to understand. The reason I say yes and no is it's going to be based on where your transactions are being made to or from. If you established a business in Indiana, but you're doing all of your business transactions in California, in and out of California, then you're going to have to pay the taxes of California and Indiana. Does that make sense?
But just say it's an online business, so you can't pinpoint which state because she gets business from all over. Then she could register it in Indiana and pay Indiana taxes instead of California.
Yes. Okay. If it's that type of business, but if it's something that is not online and she's doing physical transactions from her home or from like Square or anything like that, then it could come down to that she's paying taxes in both states. Okay.
Who would determine that? The person who files her taxes?
Yes. Once I look at all of where her transactions came from, and it's just I will find that out during our consultation. Once I'm asking her these questions and everything, that's when she would let me know. Well, I do all of my business out of here, or it's online, so it wouldn't matter.
Okay. So in the event that she did do it online and she registered it in Indiana, then
it would be Indiana taxes.
Indiana taxes, but she would have the benefit is she could write off a lot of the stuff that she couldn't normally write off if she didn't have the business.
Yes.
Okay. My next question, nobody's asked this, but it's my question. So if someone just say Jill or whomever set up their business entity in Indiana or anywhere this year. So right now, 2018.
Okay.
Could they still write off for last year, or they can't write off until 2019 for this year?
Right.
Because it was started this year, right?
Exactly. But this is the crazy part about it. If they established a business December 31st, 2017, then I would be able to write it off for last year.
Oh, okay.
But if you've established a business in 2018, then I can't give you that credit for 2017. It would have to be for exactly.
Hypothetically, what is a person's tax savings if they do have an entity?
The tax savings is you will be able to take advantage of a lot of the tax benefits that a major corporation would be able to take advantage of. Like by having a business, a home-based business, you will be able to write off these deductions that I was explaining to you guys. Everyday things that we do, you know what I mean? From driving from point A to B, from getting a haircut, from getting your hair done, from getting nails done, from buying clothes. That can be considered a uniform. Buying shoes, tools, anything like that. Everyday stuff that we do, we don't think that we can write off as a deduction. You will be able to write off those things once you establish yourself as a business rather than just an individual.
Okay. Kyle has a question. He said, "Can you give an employer an ID, EIN instead of a SSN? I'm getting some 1099s from a couple of people, but want that credit to be claimed by my LLC."
Okay. Read the question one more time. I want to make sure I understand it.
Can you give an employer an EIN instead of a SN? He owns his own business.
Right, I definitely understand. The answer to that question is yes. Basically, what he's wanting to say is instead of him giving them his personal Social Security number, he wants to give them the Social Security number of the business, which is what an EIN is. And once he does that, he'll be able to take that 1099. That's his revenue. That's how he got paid, and claim that underneath the business. Right.
So you can do it.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the benefit of doing it?
It really just depends on what he's trying to accomplish, his personal goals. For most people who are receiving a 1099, they were self-contracted. So, you know what I mean? A lot of people who I know who get the 1099, they just claim that as an individual. But it just depends on what his preference is or what his individual goal is. Evidently, there must be a reason why he's wanting to claim that 1099 underneath his company rather than his individual Social Security number. And I wouldn't know that unless I had a conversation with him.
Okay. All right. Miss Yarbrough, she wants to know, with the LLC, so just the LLC that we've been talking about, the entity that they would have to get, would they have to file two separate tax returns? So because they set up a business to write off a lot of the personal expenses, would they have to file two separate ones, one for the business and one for the personal, or is it all in one because it's home based?
Yes, it will be all in one. What will happen is underneath their personal especially if they have a job, a full-time job, working a 9 to 5, and they get a W-2. Well, what happened is you will get a regular 1040, and we will file your W-2 normally. But then for your home-based business, we would have to attach what is called a Schedule C. Once we attach that Schedule C, that's how we're able to get all of the deductions and everything, get a list of all of the expenses that you've had for the business, and get a list of all of the income that you've received for the business. So all of that will be on one report. So you'll have your 1040, and attached to that 1040, you will have your Schedule C.
But it benefits you on your 1040 because now with your Schedule C, and I'm not a tax person, I'm just learning this with you today. So it benefits you because with your 1040, you could write off a lot of the stuff because you have the Schedule C that you wouldn't be able to write off if you didn't have the Schedule C.
Exactly, but you're writing it off on your Schedule C, not the 1040.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But 9 times out of 10, you would get more money back because you have more write-offs.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, she got it. So everybody seems to be clear. If you had a question, you didn't text me or send it to me through Facebook. I appreciate Omar. I'm learning more and more every day that people don't have to be nice. People don't have to take out time to give us free information. People don't have to, make sacrifices to teach us because a lot of the reason why we are where we are now is because nobody never taught us, So
right.
I dedicated my year to teaching people, what I learned and my failures and the things that I didn't know, in business or in life. So I appreciate, the people, my friends and my business associates that take the time to come into these calls and talk to, my team. I call them my team. Whether you're a guest, whether you're on my credit club, in my credit club, whether you're in my family, whether you're one of my friends, whether I went to high school with you. I see a mixture of a lot of people on this call, but I call all of them my team because we're a team. And this year we will win because we're changing our mindset. So I knew this was tax season. I wanted to make sure that everybody has the information that they need in order, because tax time actually, when is the last day for tax time?
The last day for tax time is April 15th. So please get your information in. Please don't come, blowing me up on April 15th because I'm tired. But that's the last day. If for some reason that, you can't get in from now until April 15th, we can always do an extension for you and get your stuff done. So for regular taxes, it's April 15th. But if you do need an extension, then I'm more than able to do that for you. And I just wanted to thank all of the people who have already hit me up on Facebook, added me as a friend. I do look forward to answering. Yeah, man. They blowing me up right now, so I do appreciate all the love. And if there's anything that I can do for anybody, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, on my email, on my office line, or on my cell phone. And I'm more than willing to help you guys out.
One last question. And this is for me. Someone just asked this question. I went through personal and business lines of credit. If you're just joining in or you're late to the call or to the Facebook Live or whatever the case, we'll be running it back. We also have a recording that'll come out, other call. If you need it, just inbox me. I just want to make sure that you have the information. I talked about personal and business lines of credit, how to position yourself for those personal and business lines of credit, so that you can use the bank's money to make money. I also said that we normally go through brokers. So brokers get us the funding. And when I tell you $100,000 or someone got $210,000, my last person got $289,000, they were at a 740, and they had a business entity like we just talked about. They had an LLC, so it was a business line of credit. So they got around $280. But it wasn't through one bank. It was through 8 banks. So 8 banks, one bank gave 40, one bank gave 60, one bank gave 10, one bank gave 8. So it was pieced together with different banks with lines of credit. The broker that did that The question to me was, what is generally the percentage on the back end, since I told you never pay anybody on the front end to get you funding. So some people charge $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Do not pay anybody on the front end. If they're going to get you money, they'll wait till you get it. Okay, so the percentage on the back end that the general rule of thumb for what people are going to charge you on the back end is normally anywhere between 10 and 20%. It really just depends on who you go through. Some people are charging 13 to 15%, but what I have seen in the industry is about 10 to 20%. Some people charge 20. If you really need the money, you go pay the 20 because it's the bank's money anyway, So, and you're paying it out of the money that they get you. So once you get the money, then you're paying it out of that money, okay? And then all the rest of the money, the lines of credit, you only pay for if you use it. And many of those lines of credit are just like the credit cards that you get. They're introductory. So if you go get you a Chase Freedom card right now, you're not going to pay any interest for 18 months. If you go get you a Discover It card right now, you're not going to pay any interest for 18 to 21 months. So a lot of these are introductory rates. So you're getting the bank's money for free interest for a lot of them. And then the other ones, you are lower interest rates. But at the end of the day, it's not about the interest rate because you're only using what you need. But the benefit of it is that you have access to it. So if you want to do a food truck, you have access to the money. You don't have to go try to raise it. So I just helped the guy that's doing a movie. He's doing a movie in Hollywood, and his opportunity came to do a movie with somebody big, a big producer, big director. And they required that he come to the table with $200,000. He said, DeMond, I've never had $200,000 at one time in my life. I'm just a good writer. And it took us 6 months. We positioned him. He's at an 800 score now. He started out in the 5s, and now we were able to get him the first round of funding, which was around $250,000. You can do a round of funding every 4 months. So round of funding, I'm almost done. 2 seconds. I'm done in 2. I'm going to tell you about this. You can get a round of funding every 4 months. So just say you get a round of funding in January. This is a lot of information, I know. You got to get a round of funding in January for $100,000, $150,000. For people who've never had that much money at one time, that's hard to grasp. But this is credit, okay? So it's credit, unsecured credit. So you get a round of funding in January. In March or April, between January to April, my team will be working on your credit. We'll get all those inquiries off your credit, and then you'll go back. Because remember, they look at your personal credit even though they don't put it on your personal credit. So in March, then you'll go back for another round of funding. And then just like any other credit card, the lines of credit that you're getting, you pay them on time, they're going to increase you. So just like I told you, it's pieced up. So one bank, Navy Federal, might give you $40,000, you pay them back, or you pay your payments on time, they're going to increase you. And there's no debt to income when it comes to business credit. So you can max it out. As long as you pay it on time, you're building credit. On your personal credit, is debt to income. I never want you to exceed 20 to 30% of any credit card that's revolving. On business credit, you can do it. Okay? So I think it's been a good call, Omar.
I do too, man. I do too.
Yeah, so it's a lot of information. I want to challenge everybody that's on this call right now or that watches this call to invite somebody next week. I'm going to have some great information for you next week. I'm going to have another special guest for you next week, and I'm giving you all the tools that you need to fight in 2018. I don't want you to have any question in your mind that you don't have a mentor, you don't have a coach, you don't have support, you don't have the money, and you don't have a plan, and you don't have any of these things. I don't want you to ever say again in life, because I'm giving that to you. I take out my time. I dedicate my time to make sure that my friends and the people that I know and the people that I associate with, that they can come to this call every week to give you free information. And you use it how you want to use it. But I think that this week I learned a lot, and I tell you when I don't know about something, I don't know about taxes. So I need to connect with a person like Omar so that I understand all the stuff I could write off and all the stuff that I could benefit from. Just like I talk about the benefits of credit cards, there's benefits in taxes, and write-offs. So I just want to say thank you to Omar again. I want to say thank you to everybody that called in on time, and I want you to invite a friend next week. We are going to be at the same place, the same time. So it's 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 7 o'clock on the Eastern time, and you can tune in to Facebook Live, or you could just call in to the conference call if you're on the move, picking up the kids or doing dinner or whatever the case may be. I just want it to be convenient for you, but I also want you to learn, and I also want you to be great this year. I want each one of you to be great, and I don't want you to feel like that you don't have any support in being great. So I sincerely mean that. I think that, many of you know what happened to me this year, and I think that, it's giving me more fuel to empower you. My setback and the things that I went through has given me more fuel to believe in some of you that have some major breakthroughs coming through this year. All you have to do is position yourself. So I'll see you guys next week. I love all of you. Even if I don't know you, I love you. And I pray much success on your life. And I'll see you next week, the same time, same place. You want some free information, follow me, DeMont Nixon, on Facebook, DeMont the Mogul on Instagram, or you can always text me if you just have a question. It's 213-713-4154. I'll talk to everybody next week. Have a blessed day.